This Chicago-based perfume store lets you build your own fragrances and customize the DNA of some of your favorite designer and niche fragrances. Chicago is one of my favorite cities in the world, and I was happy to spend the last 4 days visiting Chicago, exploring one of my favorite cities, and of course I had to do a little perfume shopping. I stayed on Michigan Avenue, which is like the main street that is right on the border of Millennium and Grant Park, and there was a perfume store that was right next to my hotel called Citadel Perfumes. And before I get started, I definitely want to say Citadel has no affiliation to this video. They didn't ask me to do this. They don't know I'm doing this. This is not sponsored by any means. This is just me detailing a great experience. So you walk in and Citadel has this beautiful storefront, and you immediately notice all the different oils that they have hung up all across the wall. And upon closer inspection, you notice that most of these oils are dupes. They are inspired by fragrances, and they have the exact fragrance that they are inspired by listed right on the label. And Citadel doesn't give it its own like unique name. They simply just numerically number their different formulations. So from 1 all the way, I think they had almost 200 different dupes that they were offering. They had a lot of great offerings, really popular niche and designer fragrances that they're duping. Amouage, YSL, Creed, tons of great options. In the back of the store, they have an area where you can build your own fragrance, and this is something that I think we see a lot of different perfume shops offering, where they have all the different notes that you can sample. You can sample those oils, and then you can kind of combine them all to make your favorite fragrance. But something that I thought was really, really cool that I've never seen before is you can go and get one of the oils from one of their dupes, and then you can add your own twist to it. So you can take their formulation of their clone, then you can take it over to this area with the individual notes. And like, let's say you want to add like a ginger note to a certain fragrance, or a vanilla note, or whatever your favorite fragrance note is, you can add it in and do a twist on your favorite niche or designer fragrance. So if you have a fragrance and you're like, oh my God, I love this fragrance, but I hate this particular note, or I just wish it had a little bit more of this one particular note, you can essentially create that fragrance for yourself. So it's a really cool experience. Like, let's say you love Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille, but you wish that it had a little bit heavier vanilla note and less tobacco. Like, you could take their Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille clone, take it over to that area and add additional vanilla notes. You can essentially customize your favorite fragrance and balance those notes out in a way that suits you. As far as pricing goes, I feel like they were really fairly priced, being that this was a fragrance store on Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago. The 50 milliliter bottles were going for $50. The 100 milliliter bottles were going for $80. And if you bought 3, you were able to get 1 free. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I got 4 bottles. I asked them if they offer shipping, and they do. You can order from them on their website, and they offer free shipping on orders over $100, which, I mean, let's be honest, like, that's not that hard to get to. Of all the different fragrances that I sampled, the ones that I smelled that I was already familiar with the original DNA, they really were very, very accurate and very, very high quality. I ended up picking up their impersonations of Louis Vuitton L'Immensité and YSL Tuxedo. I was in Chicago for my girlfriend's birthday weekend, and so I got her 2 bottles. She picked out Mojave Ghost and Killian Good Girl Gone Bad, and she loves both of them. After we placed our order, it was really cool to see the rep go and make our fragrance in front of us. So taking the bottle, going over to the oil, pouring it in, adding the perfumer's alcohol, seeing it all, kind of mixed together on whatever that little device is. I'm not sure what it's called. Make our fragrance right in front of our very own eyes, and then even customize an engraving in the cork cap that they use on their bottles. So the bottle quality, the atomizer, the presentation in general is really impressive, very, very high quality. It was really amazing to just see the way that the entire store worked, and also to be able to sample just as many fragrances as I want to and get a good understanding that they are offering quality offerings like across the board. I think being able to go in and sample a ton of their different fragrances was able to kind of build that trust for me. Like, okay, this is not like a cheap dupe house that's really just trying to, I don't know, scam you out of your money. You could tell like it was a professional operation that had high quality perfume oils, a attention to detail, an attention for quality. And it's just one of those things that like when you get to see it like that in a storefront and just like see the whole operation, it really makes you trust the product that you're getting. Now, something you're probably wondering is like, how close are these to the originals and what is the performance like on these fragrances? And I can tell you the L'Immensité dupe that I have here was so strong. I sprayed it just like a half of a spray on the back of my hand just to kind of wear it when I was on the airport on my way home yesterday. And I sprayed on, like I said, half sprayed to the back of my hand, and I was smelling it strongly for 5+ hours. Tuxedo did not last as long, but I feel like that's kind of in line with like what the original fragrances are. And you know, after talking to the rep, she let me know that a lot of people say they actually prefer their formulations and think that they have a superior product in certain fragrances. So for example, like Tuxedo is a great example. If you think that YSL Tuxedo or whatever fragrance it is that you really like, but you feel like it doesn't have great performance, our rep let us know that a lot of people end up actually opting for their options. So my experience with Citadel Perfumes is nothing but a 5-star experience, from the quality of the fragrances to the presentation to just the experience of being able to go in and sample all the different fragrances. You know, if you ever go to like a Bloomingdale's or a Neiman Marcus and you want to sample a bunch of fragrances, you know, everyone I think knows like you kind of get stalked by the sales rep that are in some of these stores. And that was not the case here. She really just let us walk around and discuss and sample and do things on her own, and let us come to her with eventually, you know, what we decided to go home with. So I didn't actually do a tailored fragrance myself, but it definitely is something I would consider doing. I have to give more thought to like what fragrance I would want and then what twists I would want to put on them. Like I've not ever really took off my consumer hat and put on my like fragrance tailoring mastermind hat. Like that's just not something I was like expecting to really be think of, and I didn't have anything in the back of my mind of like, oh my god, I wish this fragrance just had this particular note. But now that it's something that I know is available to me, now that I know that's something that exists, it's something I'll keep in mind either for an online order or the next time that I visit the city of Chicago. So great pricing, amazing quality to detail, great perfumes, great operation. I have a high sense of trust for this brand, and honestly, I probably will see myself opting to pick up some of the options from Citadel rather than going the Middle Eastern dupe route in the future, honestly. I'm pretty tired of getting burned by dupe brands. I mean, not to say there are not good dupes. There are a lot of really good Middle Eastern clones and dupes that are out there that are worth their money, no doubt about it. But Citadel to me, like I said, is something that I feel like I can trust. A lot of these other brands, some of these Middle Eastern brands, sometimes you end up with a really synthetic product. Sometimes you end up with a really low performing product. You know, sometimes you don't really get your money's worth. There's been so many times where I've spent money on a Middle Eastern dupe or clone and felt like, man, I really wish I had just taken the money that I purchased this with and put it towards buying the actual fragrance. And that's really not how I feel about these at all. I mean, Tuxedo and L'Immensité, these are two fragrances that definitely have a high level of interest in, but for that price point, it just wasn't something that I really wanted to do. And so when you think about how much these cost, I could have got 4 bottles. Like, let's say I wasn't getting the other 2 bottles for my girlfriend, I was gonna get 4 for myself. 4 bottles, I think my final total after tax was $160. So they end up being about $40 each, and these are the 50 ml bottles. You know what I mean? Like, that's as good, if not better, of a price than some of the Middle Eastern clones that we see. So for me, all in all, I think I have found my favorite new dupe slash inspired by house, and that's Citadel Perfumes in Chicago. Like I said, they have no affiliation to this video. I'm making this solely off of just really enjoying my experience of shopping there, and really enjoying the fragrances that I picked up for myself and for my girlfriend. We love them. So if you're watching this video and you've considered buying from them before, or you're just interested in what their whole operation is, I would tell you personally, buy with confidence. You know, I think their stuff is really good, really high quality, and worth every penny. So let me know if you have any comments down below, or if you've had a chance to check out Citadel Perfumes down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've watched it all the way through, I highly appreciate it, and I would ask you consider giving this video a like and even consider subscribing to the channel, as I would highly appreciate that. Citadel Perfumes, Chicago, Illinois, colossal dub. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the very next video. Peace.